This is not, look, it's not the end of the world on the Niners. I just find it fascinating as I contrast the two organizations from the top to the bottom.
Right.
They conduct themselves differently. Think of the bold moves the Warriors have made over the years.
Yep.
Was there risk moving off of Mark Jackson?
No doubt.
Tremendous risk.
No doubt.
Was there risk trading Monte Ellis? Tremendous risk. Was there risk trading for D'Angelo Russell? Tremendous risk. Like, go through all the moves. Sticking with James Wiseman. Tremendous risk, right? And the one thing that I will give them is that throughout the entirety of the process, they've allowed others to self-evaluate. Bob Myers knows that you and me have traded Draymond Green 50 times on this station. And yet he comes on here, he doesn't feel attacked.
No.
He kind of laughs. He's like, he knows what it is.
Yep.
If the same thing was true, and you talk to somebody from the 49ers, and I'm just telling you my perspective, they get defensive on everything. They're still sensitive about the DeForest Buckner trade.
Well, I was on. I'm not even
Am I wrong?
There. I'm not even going to go there with the 49ers. I'm just going to move on. I'm going to move on from that because I know what you're saying about the Niners.
But it bugs me.
No, it is.
It bugs me.
Well, it's like this. It's like, wait a minute. You want me to wear pom-poms and cheer for you all the time and say everything is all good when it's not all good. It's not all good. I know you're 3-3. You're tied for first place in the NFC West. But think about the quarterback situation. Just how that was handled. The Jimmy Garoppolo saga. And then you move into Trey Lance. And I'm supposed to believe Trey Lance is going to be the starting quarterback next year coming off for broken fibula. And we don't even know who he is anymore. We don't even know who he is.
Think about the extension for Jordan Poole that was worked out and Wiggins. How quietly, quietly did that whole thing?
Yeah,
now contrast what happened with Debo.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, Debo, that was on Debo.
Well,
that wasn't on the 49ers. That was on Debo Samuel. But to say the 49ers haven't made bold moves, they have made bold moves. A lot of those bold moves just hasn't worked out.
Well, the Trey Lance
They made the bold move for Trey Lance. They made the bold move for Dee Ford. They made the bold move to trade Buckner and then move back into the first round in that same draft where they selected Kinlaw and Brandon Ayuk. They've made bold moves. The bold moves just hasn't worked out.
You know what? That's a good point. That's a good point.
You know, the Warriors with them standing pat, understanding, saying, hey, we got champions here. Let's stay the course. Let's stay the course. We're going to get through the 15-win season. We know we're going to take some bumps in the road. Clay gets hurt right before the season, which in a way, not for Klay Thompson, may have been a blessing in disguise for the whole organization.
So let me ask you this question then. As we compare and contrast, is it just completely unfair because of the Steph Curry factor to compare the Warriors to any other franchise?
No, it's not. They have a star player. But in terms of front office, organization, ownership, all that stuff, coaching, that part, when you look just around the Bay Area landscape, because don't omit the San Francisco Giants. The San Francisco Giants showed their ass in the second half of this last season.
Yeah.
Farhan Zaidi getting snarky and condescending. Yeah, Gabe Kapler going at Susan Slusser and Alex Pavlovich and asking them questions, getting all defensive. The Giants showed their booty too.
Well, and
don't exaggerate them.
I mean, this has been a quiet underbelly. You know, Bruce Bochy's going to get back to coaching. How do Giants fans feel about that? I mean, he interviewed for the Ranger job. You don't think he's going to sniff around that Dodger job?
Yeah.
You don't think he's sitting there going, I'm watching Dusty come out of retirement and take the Astros back-to-back playoff runs.
And I'm pulling for Dusty to win that ring. I'm pulling for him to win that ring.
You want to really put that knife and twist it like Saving Private Ryan? So Bochy goes to the Dodgers? Oof.
So one of the bold moves, you talk about bold moves, one of the bold moves the Warriors made during the 2019-2020 season was trading for Andrew Wiggins. And they traded D'Angelo Russell, who was here for a cup of coffee, Omari Spellman, and Jacob Evans for Andrew Wiggins and a top 3 protected pick, which turned into Jonathan Kuminga. And when Wiggins got traded here, I remember it was like, boy, the Warriors are desperate. We had the sound of Nick Wright. You know, Nick Wright talking about, boy, Steph Curry will never make an NBA Finals again because of that trade. And Andrew Wiggins, think about how he was talked about and how he was discussed around these parts or in the NBA world. And he comes here, plays okay during that season, the 15-win season, and the 20-plus games he played, or what was it, 12 games or whatnot. And then the next season, they make the play-in tournament, they lose. And then last year, you think about where he's come from. And he signs the extension. And Bob Myers said on Sunday, we've been talking to Andrew Wiggins' representatives for 2 months to get this extension done. And he signs a 4-year, $109 million deal. Doesn't even go to free agency, where a lot of people were saying, hey, you know, Andrew Wiggins is going to go to his own team and get his money again. He wants to cash out just like Jordan Poole. And Andrew Wiggins tells everybody on Sunday, no, I love it here. It's the same thing he told Mully and I during the NBA Finals in Game 6.
You've been on this. But even before then, you knew this from Mully.
Even before this, it was like, I love it here. I don't have to carry a franchise.
Yeah.
My family loves it. The fans are great. I love the system. I get to play my game. I'm rebounding more. I'm playing on national television. This is pretty cool. I want one of those banners.
And he's taking a pay cut.
And now he's here for the next 5 years.
Outside of Tom Brady, name me a guy taking a $10 million pay cut in pro sports.
Not many. Not many people.
I'm asking out loud. Am I wrong?
But think about the Warriors.
Like, that's crazy.
Think about the Warriors for a second. Think about the guys who have taken pay cuts before they go to State Warriors.
Durant did.
Kevin Durant took pay cuts 3 straight seasons.
I believe if we go back to their second contract, because I know they're both on their third contract, Clay and Draymond took slightly less than what they could have gotten, and I believe that was right before the TV deal kicked in and the salary cap exploded.
Exactly. So the Warriors are in a great spot. They're reloaded. They have a lot of young talent. You see how fan-friendly they are. They handle the media well. They handle the fan base well. You look at the 49ers and the Giants and the way they've handled things. When you talk 49ers, and I was thinking about yesterday's show a lot, and I was thinking about the conversation we were having about Shanahan, and nobody said fire Shanahan.
No.
Nobody said the Niners were out of it. I think the Niners are going to make the playoffs. I actually think if they get healthy, they have a great shot to beat the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday. A great shot if Bosa and Trent Williams are there. I do. I truly believe that. But what's the long game? What's the long-term game? Do I believe in the coach when it comes to clock management? Do I believe in the coach when it comes to sense of urgency? When the Warriors are in adverse situations, they never panic. Whereas opposed to the 49ers and the Giants, they seem to panic.
Well, so as I can compare and contrast the two, Steve Kerr, when he first came in, would you think that he's changed or evolved over the years?
I think he has.
Okay, in what aspects?
And think about this.
What aspects?
Not only defensively, but knowing that he needs new blood on the bench.
Yes.
Right? Let's bring in Kenny Atkinson.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Let's bring in Jama, Malalea from the Toronto Raptors and develop bigs. What about Dino, who works with Looney and James Wiseman to get the big men to have nice touch around the rim, to have great fun? Think about where Looney came from under the new coach Dino, all the way from overseas, who worked with Jokic. So he reinvented the bench, saying, you know what? We need new ideas. We need new ideas on the bench, because a lot of people thought he was going to bring back Luke Walton. He didn't. A lot of people thought he was going to bring back Gentry. He didn't.
Well, wouldn't you also say that he was in love with veterans and would never play young guys early on?
Early on, yeah. But, I mean...
I think that's evolved over time.
But last year, he didn't really play a lot of young guys.
But you know what? That being said, Mooney got a fourth quarter against Dallas, and Jonathan Kuminga got a couple of minutes against Boston. Like, I didn't think they'd play at all. Like, I think 3 years before that, you think they're playing at all?
Nah.
I mean, McCaw did get some finals minutes, but that was out of necessity. I'm just saying, like, I look at this and I ask you this question this morning on Shanahan. And I'll ask anyone this. Where's the growth from year one to where we are now? And I'm asking the specific area that he's got. Has he gotten better at clock management?
Nope.
I think he has in some areas, because he has gone 2 for 1 in areas where they're about to go, get the ball before the end of the half. They score, then they get it back. I think he's gotten better at that.
That 2 for 1 looked really good Sunday against Atlanta.
No, it looked horrible. But he's put his team in a position to have those situations. I think he has gotten better in that aspect. What else?
You tell me.
I think he's found weapons.
It's better you say it this morning than me.
Well, I think when
I'm a hater when it comes to Shanahan.
When you look at that first year in terms of identifying talent, and you look where they're at now, they do have talent. They got Ayuk, they got Debo, they got Kittle. So I think he's gotten better at evaluating offensive talent.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
I feel like he's done a really good job on developing the interior of the O-line, given, Brendel stinks, but the other two guys are looking promising.
Is that Chris Forster or Kyle Shanahan? I guess
he gets credit for that.
All right, okay.
Like, if you're going to give credit for Steve Kerr's staff for developing young people, then don't you got to give Kyle Shanahan some credit?
I guess you do.
I'm asking out loud.
But Baldy, he mentioned yesterday team speed.
Well, that's a problem.
Like a team speed. You see Willie Snead on the roster.
I know.
You see him hold on to Jalen Hurd for so long. You see the whiff in Dante Pettis.
Well,
you see Danny Gray not touching the field, really.
Like Don Nelson. Don Nelson used to dog out certain rookies. It does feel like Kyle has a little, like, I'll dog you out if you're not my guy. Yeah, and it's like, well, why'd you take him?
Yeah, I don't know. Enough about the Niners. It's ring night. I'm in a great mood.
Okay.
It's going to be a party at Chase
I was
Center.
just contrasting.
No, I know you were, but like, the Niners are the Niners. They're going to be the Niners. They haven't won anything since the mid-'90s. They have to win something here. That's why when I say things like, they get to the playoffs this year, especially after what happened in week 2. You brought up Kittle going to – I don't know who went to Michael Silver. I don't know who went to Michael Silver to talk, coaches, players. I don't know who went to him, and I really don't give a damn. The fact that it was said bothers me. So it's like, okay, Jimmy gives you a better chance to win the Super Bowl. Well, go win it then. Because anything else is unacceptable. You touched the NFC Championship game. Like, if they make the divisional round this year and they lose, I'm not going to be satisfied. It's going to be disappointing. Because that's another year without a banner, especially after the way they talked about Trey Lance early in the year. Yeah, you shouldn't go to Trey. You got Jimmy right there. Oh, we don't get it. Jimmy took him to the NFC Championship game. Anybody who watches football knows Jimmy didn't take this team to the NFC Championship game. We all know that. And it's not to crush Jimmy. It's not.
No, but that's the reality.
It's the reality.
It would be like someone saying, you know how the Warriors won their first championship? This guy Mo Spates helped take them there.
Right. Leandro Barbosa carried away. Like Iguodala. I love Andre Iguodala. But we all know that finals MVP belongs to Stephen Curry.
100%. 100%. It's like Renneria hitting that home run in Game 5 and everyone giving him the MVP. It's like, come on, Renneria was a part of a bigger picture, but he was not one of the big pieces.
No doubt. So the Niners are the Niners, and they got work to do.
All right, I'm done with them.
They have work to do.
I apologize for bringing them up.
But you know what? You're going to keep contrasting? Think about the party that's going to be at Chase Center.
I know.
Thrive City.
Oh, you mean
the way they built that up?
You mean the stadium on the downtown San Francisco border where there's water and it looks absolutely beautiful? And they built it with all private money.
Right.
Yeah, that stadium.
And the 145 miles south, where there's nothing around there except for the Hilton Hotel. By the way, the Hilton Hotel is great, but that's a saving grace. You got nothing else around there. Everybody complains about the stadium, and you got Chase Center, where they've built it up with Thrive City, boards all over the place. Dumpling Time, Gots. You got Miller and Lux. You got everything around there. You got food trucks down the street. You got the team store where JD's going to be broadcasting from.
Is he?
Yeah. For Warriors Live, he's going to be broadcasting from there.
Very nice.
So you know what? It's Warriors time. It's Warriors night. 888-957-9570.
Can I ask you a question?
What's up?
Is Steph Curry bigger than Joe Montana?
I think he is. Now, it's tough for me to gauge because I wasn't around during Joe Montana's prime. I wasn't. I was a kid in the 80s. There was no social media. When you add the factor of social media and you look at, you always said, Steph Curry has $24 million followers on Instagram.
The Niners have like 3 million.
He has 24 million. He's a worldwide ambassador. He's a worldwide superstar. He's a finals MVP. He's an 8-time All-Star. He's an All-NBA guy.
The number one athlete for Under Armour.
Number one athlete. You talk about his Under Armour golfer. You talk about his basketball camps.
Yep.
Steph Curry is the biggest star in Bay Area sports history.
I think so, too.
So
I think he's eclipsed Joe Montana, and I didn't think that was ever possible for anyone. Also, he unites the East and West Bay, whereas Joe Montana, there are a lot of Raider fans that will never root for Joe Montana.
And there's a lot of Niner fans, and there's a lot of Niner fans who look down at Joe Montana for the way he's talked about the organization since he's retired. Not coming to Candlestick Park for the last game of the season because the check wasn't right. Waving the Kansas City Chiefs flag in an AFC championship, where it's like, dude, you were with the Chiefs for 2 years. What's going on here? Like, Joe, come on, man. Come on, Joe.